All right. I'm not sure if everybody can hear me. Okay. So, good morning. My name is Amber Viola, and I live in the city of Scranton, and I work as the Human Resource Director for the city. Thank you so much for allowing me to have this opportunity to come on here and speak to you guys this morning. This very cold summer, doesn't feel like summer morning today, so thank you very much. I guess a little bit about myself. I am an Army brat, so I moved around a lot as a kid. This is the last area that wait, hold on one second. Okay. The last place that I called home was here in Goldsboro, Pennsylvania, which is in NEPA. I finished high school here at North Pocono, and then I went on to go to the University of Scranton. I left there and joined the Navy. After doing 8 years in the Navy, I wanted to come back home and finish my degree and kind of like start my career and stuff. I knew I wanted to become a social worker and I wanted to help people, but I wasn't really sure how to go about that, how to do it. So I kind of was just honestly going with the flow. Finishing school and getting my degree was definitely my first and foremost goal to do that. So that's how I ended up back in this area. So what I'm going to be talking today about is failure and failing forward, and how in failing you can find success, and how also failure isn't necessarily a dirty word and a terrible thing. So failure is defined as a lack of success, the omission of expected or required action in a state of not functioning. So basically, you're terrible. Success is today one of the way we measure people, and we measure who they are, and we measure kind of their character based on how successful they are. So if you're not successful, then you're not a good person. Somehow failure is kind of seen as more of a moral failing than necessarily like a tangible failing, something that you can't really control. All right, so I gotta add some dots on here. Hold on, let me see. Y'all, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Okay, I think I'm doing this wrong, and I don't know why. So, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm good now. All right. Sorry for the delay. Okay, so basically, what is failure? It's seen as a moral failing. You think about all the times that you've tried to go do something in your life, and most of the time it didn't really turn out that great. And something that I learned while being a parent was watching my little girl and watching her try to learn how to walk, and remember how much she fell down all the time, and how she kind of learned how to fall forward and land on her hands. But in this, she kept going. She kept getting up and kept trying to stand and pull herself up and use different materials, chairs or desks or tables, to try to keep pulling herself back up. And, she never gave up on that. And that kind of just blew me away, just sitting there watching her do this, because I was like, wow, as adults, we try to do things and, you try something a few times and then, well, this wasn't for me, or it didn't really work out. So now you kind of just give up. And as a baby, she didn't give up. She just really, really kept going. And that kind of taught me how to look at failure in a different way. Around that same time, I was actually getting ready to get out the military. I became a single parent. So I had to try to learn how to do all of these things on my own that I had never done before. That I had the opportunity to fail at because I had never done before and I had no idea what I was doing. So I was trying so hard to do these new things, to take steps forward in the right direction because I knew where I wanted to go, but also being too scared to take those steps forward because you have to be vulnerable. You have to move on to the next level. So be vulnerable enough to fail. And what I mean by that is when you're going out and you're trying to do something, most of the time you've never done it before, or it's something new or a new way you've done something, and you have to be willing to put yourself out there and put yourself in a situation that you don't know how to necessarily navigate. Last year during COVID, I was graduating from high school. Yes, I was graduating from college from Marywood University, and I was applying to new jobs and figuring out where I wanted to go. I had my degree now, so that was, the main goal that I really wanted to set for myself. And now it was time to decide what I really wanted to do. So there was some things going around here with city council, and I decided to go out for that. And in doing that, I remember thinking, okay, so I'm going to do this and everybody's going to see it and I'm totally going to screw it up and everybody's going to think I'm a joke and I'm a big failure. That was the first thing that crossed my mind. It wasn't even, can I do it? Should I do it? I was worried that I was going to fail at it before I even started trying to do it. So, you psych yourself up, you psych yourself down. I wrote, 18-point paper on what I wanted to say and how I wanted to try to say it. And it didn't happen. I didn't get it. And that was for me, my first really big public fail. And, it was in the newspaper and it was online and people talked about it. And I felt embarrassed because I didn't get it. And so the next thing I was like, okay, well, now there's an open seat on the school board, so I should go out for the school board seat. I'm a mother, I'm a single mother. I know how hard it is with education and trying to be a parent, and I'm involved. So I did that, and I'm sure you guys all know how you feel after you do a good interview, right? Like, that you nailed it. You're ready to go. You're so proud of yourself. Like, everything fell into place. Your hair looked great. Lighting was great. You followed your notes. Like, the conversation flowed really well. That's how I felt. I was really proud of myself and really happy with how well the interview had done. And I didn't get it. So I was bummed, this one kind of stung a little bit. It hurt because I really put a lot into it. And being a mother is something I'm very proud of and the best job that you could ever ask for. And I was just like, wow, I really just got egg on my face with this one. One of the things about failure, though, is that you need to feel it and you need to go through those emotions sometimes. And you can be frustrated and angry and mad and sad and disappointed and feel those things and then get up and get it together. Go through the emotions. Don't deny yourself a sense of pain that you're having in that, because it happens to all of us. We all fail at some point, and I did. And, I took a few days where I kind of licked my wounds and I was embarrassed and sad about it. But I started getting these messages from people and they were just so encouraging. And the first thing that people would say to me is, I can't believe that you just went out and did that. And I was just thinking about that, like, man, people are so proud of me just for the fact that I attempted to do this. I didn't get it. It didn't go well, but people were very proud at the fact that I did it. And I was kind of blown away by that response. And I was like, should I be proud of myself as well? Is that somehow vain or conceited, or can you be proud of yourself if you actually failed? Us millennials always overthinking, never wanting to seem like we've arrived or anything like that. So it it was really such a strange feeling. And I was like, you know, I think I should be proud of this, because it's something that, even though I didn't get the end goal wasn't achieved all the way, I went through that whole process and I learned something through that whole process. And I was able to gain things through that process, whether it was meeting with different people, networking, creating new connections, just getting my name out there, getting experience doing different things, getting experience talking to people. There was so much that I gained and so much that I learned from those two failings, those two things that I came out the other side and I didn't really achieve my goal and it didn't really turn out well. But because of those things, I was actually able to get the job that I have now. And I want you guys to think about the aspect of failing forward, where, you know, I did fail and I didn't make it, but it created another opportunity and it opened another door for me to move on and to be able to do something else. And just by putting myself out there, I was able to learn things about myself that I didn't know. I was able to learn things about the people around me that I didn't know. And I was able to see a whole support system that I didn't even know that I truly had. And at the end of the day, I wanted, you know, to be proud of myself. And I wanted my daughter to be proud of me and be proud of the things that I'm doing. And I always want her to go out and try things, even if I, as her mother, know that she's not gonna make it. You know, when she was first walking, I knew that she wasn't gonna get it on the first try. We know that. We're watching them. They're little. They're not able to do it. But we still encourage them to do it. And we still encourage them to continue to put their best foot forward and continue to make strides to go after what they're achieving, and to still be vulnerable enough and willing enough to get up every single day and to still do that. And the journey isn't always going to be short. As I said, I was in the military and then I got out and then I finished my degree. So getting my degree and graduating, that journey was a 10-year process of me initially starting out and right after high school and then leaving because I was broke. I got scholarships to college. Didn't really realize as a very young adult that school being paid for didn't mean that you had food in your fridge or gas in your tank. So I went in there very naive. And so when I initially left school, I felt like a failure. You know, I felt so embarrassed that I didn't finish the goal that I had originally started. And I was so embarrassed that my journey didn't look like other people's journeys. But other people see our failures completely different than we do. So when I'm a mother and I'm watching my daughter fall all over the floor, I'm proud of her because she's trying to walk. When people saw me go out for these different things and I didn't make it, they were proud of me because they saw the effort that I put into it and that I really went out and tried to achieve something. When I left school because I couldn't afford it and I ended up joining the Navy, you know, people didn't see that as a failure. They saw that as, wow, you're willing to sacrifice, you know, something for yourself. You're willing to you know, support your country and to fight for your country and to defend your country. You're willing to put yourself, you know, out there for this and try to do that. I saw it as completely different. You know, I saw it as like this girl who couldn't get through school and now she's doing this because she couldn't do something else. The way that I looked at it was completely different than the way that people outside are looking at it. And I had to ask myself, whose opinion in this matters? Does my opinion in this situation matter because I'm being a negative Nancy, or the people outside who are looking in, what do they see and how are they looking at it? Because we're our biggest critics, and a lot of times we're very, very hard on ourselves with things that we don't necessarily need to be. And obviously there's always going to be haters out there. So, you know, you have to balance that with taking other people's opinions. But I think sometimes it's really good to hear people outside and take a step back and say, wow, you know, I may not have reached the goal that I thought I was going to reach, but I did achieve something. And I can be proud of that. And I can be proud of the effort that I put in and all the things that I learned and the things that I've gauged from this situation. And, you know, when you fail at something, it's not always this whole big thing across the board. You know, if you fail a test, you didn't fail that class. You know, you didn't fail that semester. You didn't fail that year. You didn't fail college. You're not going to graduate. You know, you have to take it one thing at a time and kind of retrain your brain and rethink about how you look at things and how we look at what failure is and what that means to us, and kind of then being vulnerable enough to keep trying to go out for it. And then what do you do after that? You know, you have to get it together and wipe the egg off your face and say, okay, so here I am now. This didn't work out. Where do I want to go from here? What do I want to do next? What is my next goal? When I came out on the other side of, you know, the city council and the school board thing, I was like, well, what do I want to do now? I'm going to keep applying to jobs because I need to get a job. I need to work. I need to, you know, polish up on my resume. Maybe I need to get better at researching and interviewing process. And, you know, there's things that I want to learn over here. You know, what can I try to do to take all of the knowledge from this situation and learn from it and then put it into something else? And what is that something else? One of the things that I've learned in my short life is that your goals are always going to constantly change, and it's okay to change them. And maybe it's okay to push something out. When I initially left school, I didn't think that the journey was going to take me, you know, across a bunch of different continents, in the ocean, on deployments, and all over the world, but it did. But my goal to graduate was still the same, and it was still there, even though it may have been pushed back, even though the process of getting there may look completely different than I thought it was going to look when I was 18 years old. And that's okay. And sometimes it's okay to stop and say, maybe this is actually what I don't want to do this. Maybe I don't like this. Maybe I'm trying it out, and yes, maybe I'm doing bad at it, and yes, maybe I'm failing at it, but maybe my heart's not in it and it's not actually something that I want to do. And it's not like you're taking that goal away. You know, you're rearranging it, you're changing it. Maybe it looks different than it did before. Maybe it's a completely different thing. Maybe you don't want to do it now. Maybe you want to do it in 3 years. And your journey's not going to look like somebody else's journey. People look at me now and they see, you know, I'm 35. I have a good job. I work for the city. I'm a mother. My daughter goes to preschool. She's 4 years old. I have my college degree, and they see that end result, and they see my reels. They see my Insta life, and they see the end of where I got, but they didn't see the whole process of that. It didn't look like me graduating from high school at 18 and going to 4 years of college and getting out and kind of going into the workforce. It was just kind of like this and a whole mess. And there's so many different things that I tried along the way that didn't work out, or some things that did work out, and that I still decided that maybe I didn't like those things, or maybe I didn't want to try those things. But at the end of the day, what your journey looks like and your success is yours alone. And you have to gauge that, and you have to be proud of that, and be proud of all the little wounds that you had along the way, and the scrapes and the bruises. And those are some of the best stories that you'll ever tell, is how you totally screwed something up and totally messed something up. And some of the proudest moments I have are of me totally screwing something up. And then what did it look like on the other side of that? How did it turn out? Because I'm here now, and I can be proud of that now. And whenever I start to feel embarrassed or ashamed, or like I'm not achieving something fast enough or getting there quick enough, I think about my little girl learning how to walk and stumbling all over the place, and how I was so proud of her when she was doing that. And she maybe didn't even know. And in her little mind, she's just falling. But she's learning how to fall, and she's learning how to fail, and she's learning how to get right back up again. And we can take that and put that to use in our own lives, because life is a journey that doesn't end until you're dead. So I'm here now, and where do I want to go from here? What do I want to do next? And what is my next set of goals? And what are my next set of achievements? And maybe what are some of my next sets of failures? Because some of the things that I want to continue to do and continue to go after, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to get there, but I know that I'm going the right way, and I know that it's what I want to do, and it's okay to fail at something and to keep going and to get back up again and to keep trying and to learn how to fail forward and always keep it moving. So thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you being here with me this morning. And I guess if any of you guys have any questions, you could put it in a chat and I'd be happy to answer any questions you have. Yes, Anthony, that is so good. We always think about like famous people, and people name off people like Oprah or Maya Angelou who didn't achieve great success until later in life. But I think sometimes we forget that they're just real people too, and that we all have to kind of go through that same journey. And we elevate these people and look at them and say like, wow, they had so much tenacity and they kept going. We don't give the same grace to ourselves, and we have to make sure that we're really doing that, because every success story, there's a trail of I tried this and I tried that and this and that, and it didn't really work out that great. So thank you so much for that. And I think it's such a great reminder to just keep moving and to just be so proud of yourself, because my mom told me after I was doing things and it wasn't working out, and she said, most people wouldn't have tried, Amber, but you tried. And that says something about you. So I think it says something about all of us when we really try. Yes, failure is only the end if you quit. There's a lot of ways to get to a finish line, and there's times that I've gotten there kicking and screaming, and there's other times that I've probably had to drag myself across the finish line. But yes, it is, and you can be proud of finally getting to the end and making it. So thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody's time, and I hope that you guys can take a little bit from this and just remember to give yourselves a little bit more grace today. All right, thank you.